Neil doesn't have anything to grip and rip apparently tonight.
Oh, I just did. I just did.
Oh, I did. It did. Okay, Discord
Didn't
muffled that.
catch.
I didn't catch it all. Oh man,
Oh wow, my microphone's amazing.
it is. It is. Neil with the Yingling, the Pennsylvania classic. While I'm sitting here with a nice tangerine LaCroix, being a good boy.
Mm. Yeah. Please sponsor us.
Yes, please sponsor us. Either one of you, preferably Yingling.
Right. Right.
Actually, please Yingling.
Hometown, baby.
Yep, Pottstown. Welcome to Strength Hammer episode 54 with, once again, me, your lovable host, Chuck Moore. And returning back into his proper seat, we got the Neil Renfor LaRocca.
We've run off the riffraff and we're back to business as usual.
Although, keep in mind, there as you're listening to this, there'll be a Big M's Power Hour coming up the next day, so you'll still get to hear Big M, but not now. Now it's back to the Chuck and Neil show, where it belongs.
There we go.
So, Neil, how you been doing? What's going on with life? Where
I've
you at?
been doing good. Life's just been very busy, which is why I've not seen my face for a couple of weeks here. So glad to be back. Got a busy weekend, but we're recording tonight.
Heck yeah. No, it's been good for me too. May's actually a very calm month for me. I have no work trips. Technically on the 31st is when I fly out for Kansas City for the US Open series to start, but I consider that next month, so not a big deal. So yeah, May's a very casual month. Got some club days, hanging out with the wife at home. So I would say you'll see lots of hobby progress from me. But I don't have any hobby, at least none that I can really share.
Secret projects.
It's not exciting. It's not. This isn't like NDA or I'm doing something spectacular. Actually, we'll just jump right into hobby and we'll touch fitness after this. So I have nothing on my hobby desk. I painted a wonderful 3D printed Thorgrim Grudge Bear that Neil you printed and sent me. Painted up.
Turned out well.
Yeah, no, it paints up really well. Especially I just put some Fire Slayers and Dwarf. I almost said Dwarden, even though it's a fantasy model. Like bits everywhere, so it really blends in well with the army. Paints up well. Painted up the lion and the blade guard that came with the lion's guard. That was a fun project. That was actually a hard project. I was trying to do the black to green armor, and plus it was a Primarch, so like the whole time I'm like, oh man, like I want to get this right, and I feel like I'm never gonna live up to it, but I liked it, and people seem to enjoy it online, so I should be proud of it. Yeah, and then nothing at like, I forget what else I might have done, but I've nothing like here. If you're watching the video on YouTube or Spotify, look at my table.
It's a nice clean desk right there.
Yep, absolutely nothing on it. It's I can get into that longer, but to the left is the Secret Project, which is every year at Gen Con, the GW team that goes, they do a thing called Sealed Team, which is Kill Team, Warcry, Blood Bowl, like skirmish games. And you walk up, you pay, you get a blind army, and it's for whatever game system you're choosing, and then it's built and primed, and you can paint it and then use it in a game system. But it's secret because we don't want everybody knowing what they could be getting. So keep that thrill alive. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the next couple weeks. That's why it's secret. It's not special secret. It's just secret because out of politeness, I guess.
Love it.
Yeah, but and then another quick bit of hobby actually. I finally got the Barn Owl, that weekly crew, into
I'm very
into
excited
Age of Sigmar.
Mm-hmm.
All it took was working with my FLGS, getting every single one of them a start collecting box and building it up and handing it to them and telling them that they're playing.
So did you get any converts or some resistance or what?
Actually, it was really interesting. So like, there's always a little bit of resistance, and I told them like, hey, this is thanks for all you do for me. It's also very selfish thanks, and they accepted that. But there was a few that were a little bit more resistant, but then after the game, they're like, yeah, it was pretty fun, and they're like, okay, they're enjoying it. Like they got the right army, and then the worst I saw was just like indifference. But it's our one member of group, Brandon. He's a wonderful human, but he's just always kind of indifferent. So like, it's a good thing from him. But no, everyone seemed to be positive, had a good time. We just played Like no allegiance abilities, just pure war scrolls. Get the flow of the game down. There was 3 games going at once, teaching game, and obviously some other people that knew the game there helped. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was like trying to like just get them the flow state of the game, and from here it's like okay, well next time we want to play, like let's get you allegiance abilities, let's add to the army, let's do this, and like add those layers on because like Sigma right now it's not an easy game to just pick
Yeah.
up and go with. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my hobby. Like I said, it's a weird one. It's not much because I got everything done. So you'll hear lots of games played from me soon, and that'll be it. But Neil, what's your hobby? Regale me with more interesting things than nothing.
Oh God, I mean, well, I mean, I can tell you some things, but I wish they were all Age of Sigmar related. But
Yeah.
I just started building my Brock Grunson.
Mm,
Um, so he's getting built right now.
nice.
But outside of that, one of the ways I'm trying to gateway my kids into tabletop miniatures is I got them started in Dungeons and Dragons. So
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
I've been 3D printing monsters and trying to figure out how to play the game myself because I have no idea. I have to be the dungeon master, of course,
Hmm.
and run characters for them. So it's a round the party out. So dealing with a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old. I did not know whether my 9-year-old would be able to pay attention to this. And then we played a very light kind of just intro to whatever the campaign we were doing. And the next day we play through like a simple battle. The battle's over and my son's just like, Dad, isn't that like, couldn't those have been the things that we're doing, whatever? And I was just like, wow, you remember that days ago and everything? Like he got it, man. He's locked in. So
There you
it was
go.
good. The more he enjoys doing stuff like this, and I've got like all my Age of Sigmar terrain is put out on like this squares mat that I have that
Yep.
you can draw on and everything else. And so we're using some terrain, we're using miniatures and just stuff to try and get the kids, a little bit more, hands on and not as much theater of the mind for them, and maybe a little half and half, So,
Nice.
but anyway, so yeah, they're having a good time with it.
No, I'm glad to see that's working. Yeah, I still every time like I miss D&D. I don't get to play as much as I want to really ever because either scheduling doesn't work out because I'm busy with other stuff or other friends decide to start a group without me, and then I'm like, okay, well, thanks for not inviting me and my wife. We appreciate that. You guys are great. Um, but no, I'm glad to see that you're carrying it on. You're passing that torch along, and especially since you have a 3D printer, like you might as well like I'm more I like theater of the mind. I like making a miniature for my character, and creating it and building it, but I never want to
Right.
use it on a game. But I can
Oh,
see
no,
I can see for the younger generation it might be beneficial. Plus you have a 3D printer, you gotta get that money's worth out of it.
sure. Yeah, I didn't have Kobold, so I typed in, to Cults 3D. I'm like, free Kobold miniatures. About 7 variations of the good-looking models popped up. I had them the next day.
Yep.
So just like, okay, kind of nice.
Yep. And then you know what? Someday, far in the future, 30 years from now, um, you're gonna have all those just shoved in a box, and
Oh yeah.
either your son or
I mean,
daughter's gonna find it, and like it's gonna be like if you were finding like an old high elf army like in your parents'
right.
basement, you'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah, look at this. That would be pretty amazing.
Yep. That's the future you're building.
That's hopefully, yeah.
That's it. Oh, other than that, oh, actually, no, we did do a little bit of work. Uh, well, ChatGPT did a little bit of work because for our NashCon adventure coming up between me, you, and Matt, where we take our KO and have our own little mini tournament within the tournament, I asked ChatGPT to cheat ChatGPT. My gosh, I'm drinking LaCroix and I can't talk. Oh boy.
Yeah, have another.
Um, I asked it to write a a short Caradron Overlord's contract between 3 Skyfleets, and it did very, very well. I mean, Neil, I know you look. I'm not sure how much you looked through it. It was a 1 page thing, and that's gonna
Sure.
be our trophy. Like I'll print it out, I'll frame it, we'll sign it. That's our trophy. Um,
Yeah.
but the only thing I changed in it was the names because it chose Beric Nar, Beric Thring, and Beric Mornar. It chose those 3 Skyfleets, so I just had to change it to our names for our Skyfleets. And then, like I changed nothing else other than formatting to make like this is where we're signing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was just like, "Ooh, that's cool." I
It
really
is pretty slick. I mean, man, I know that's like the Chat GPT or whatever the hell it is
Yeah.
it's kind of like the bane of every teacher's existence right now. But it's like, man, if I had that shit going through school,
Oh, we would be so much dumber.
so much dumber. I mean, I can't write right now anyway, so the ship sailed anyway. But
Actually, you
with
know
the
what?
advent of text messaging.
I might do this for the club one night. Uh, Either the weekly club or like maybe the monthly Ligonier club. I'm gonna have Chat GPT write me an Age of Sigmar tournament pack.
Oh, there you go.
And we're just gonna run with it,
Yeah,
whatever it says, even if it's wildly off base.
yeah.
Or
And no going off track. If it says there's going to be some awards, man, you're going to have to do it.
yep. Or even better yet,
It's going to be the reward will be a new Ferrari. You're like, shit.
damn it, that sucks. Well, it could be a Matchbox Ferrari. I'll get that. But I want to see Chat GP. This is content. Maybe I'll put it out there. Maybe someone else can do it first. If you do put out there first, you got to give us credit. Chat GPT writes FAQs for Age of Sigmar army books.
Oh my god. That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
I'd love to see what happens there.
that's honestly, I might message Halo on that. That's all up his alley. He could crush it. Anyway, um, yeah, we're a little backwards on this, but let's talk a little fitness. Neil, are you doing any fitness stuff right now? Getting in shape,
Well,
getting swole?
with how busy I am, no, but I don't know if it counts that I'm like my caseload right now is extremely, extremely heavy. So every day I'm just lifting people. I don't know if that counts or not, but I am doing that 8 hours a day.
Okay, well, it's not bad. I mean, you're in a physical job, so that's not a bad thing. For me, I'm still going to the gym 3 days a week. Just doing that stuff. What I've noticed these past couple weeks that's been really thrilling is, those old, you always get benchmarks and like, bench 225, deadlift 405, squat 315. Now my squat's always been like relatively high, but yeah, I can go into the gym any day and put up 225 for a few reps on my top set. I can do 405 easily on deadlift for top set. 315 is perfect. It's not even my top set on squat. So I'm like, huh, I guess I am getting strong. I guess this process does work.
Mhm.
So that's just been a good feeling. But still, I still don't really have much of a goal for my fitness right now. So just kind of just going to the gym 3 days a week, hitting the big movements, and going from there. But it feels good.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So moving on to the topic of the night. And by the way, everybody, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show, just from the nature of our scheduling right now tonight. So yeah, you don't need to get too comfortable. You don't need to make a cup of coffee for this one. But Warhammer Fest reveals. Now, I just did an entire show. I streamed it with AOS Coach. So check that out on his channel for the whole stream and lots of talking in between. But I want to get Neil's perspective on some of these. And obviously, some of mine will be relayed here too. But Neil, generally speaking, Warhammer Fest. What'd you think from like the outside looking in? Obviously, we didn't go. What'd you think of Warhammer Fest in general? Not just reveals, just the show itself. Is it something you've always wanted to go to, or what do you think?
It is. It is something I'd love to go to at some point. All I know of it, like outside of like seeing some stuff on Twitter, a lot of people like doing cosplay and stuff like that, which
Mhm.
looks cool. I have no idea. I guess the tournament is 8 games. I didn't even know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think they do. Well, they
It's
have
like
they
a 5 and a break.
yeah. They do.
Yeah.
It's the cut. It's you do the 5 then cut.
Yeah.
And then, but
Yeah.
they also have like
It's still
single
cool.
day
Yeah.
friendlies, so like you can go for a 1 day. You don't have to go for a big tournament if you don't want to. So
Nice. No, so but outside of that, all I really caught was parts of the reveal show. So I was working the day of the Age of Sigmar and Old World, so I was kind of in between patients, like checking in,
yeah, give me
seeing what was
something.
coming out.
Give me that
Yeah.
hit. Give me that hit.
That's right. But anyway, so yeah. As far as the 40K stuff goes,
We'll go through the reveals like kind of like sort of one at a time briefly.
okay.
But real quick, I guess my overview. Warhammer Fest. I was bummed not to be able to go. I was hoping I'd be able to go to work, but work visas and stuff makes things nightmarish. Uh, but Warhammer Fest is on my bucket list, so whether I get to work it or travel to it one day, I want to.
Mm.
The only thing that seemed to be Like every picture I saw, people there were smiling ear to ear, having a great time. The only downside thing I saw is people were just having to wait in long lines because there's lots of people that want to do Warhammer stuff. But also the
Yeah.
Brits like queuing. That's what I hear. So they queue up for miles to get beans on toast. They can queue up even longer to get Warhammer news.
Oh my God.
But yeah, but let's we were about to start with the reveal of Leviathan, the starter set for 10th edition.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that, Neil?
I think it looks cool, and I'm not really a big Space Marine guy or anything, but the Terminators look kind of cool. I like the oh God, what is he? Is it? I don't know Space Marines. Okay, I only know the Tau. But there's is it a librarian or
Oh,
something in that
the
Terminator armor?
Terminator Librarian. Yep.
There it is. He looked pretty sweet.
Hmm.
I like the way his armor looked and everything. So I thought that was cool. If I had to choose, I'd probably go with the bugs, the Tyranids.
Really?
Oh, for sure,
Okay.
without question. So, death to the Emperor and all his children. Um,
Ouch.
yeah. There you go. People are burning things in their home right now in rage. But
But usually people
yeah,
don't hate Space Marines. Usually people are just like indifferent at best.
I actually I like Space Marines just based off of StarCraft and everything, but
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
fair.
Like the thing that I don't like about Space Marines and about 40K is that you got like 800 different chapters of this one's a red Space Marine and this one's a green
Well,
Space
you
Marine
gotta
and this one's a
find
blue Space Marine.
you have to
I can't.
find the sports team you
That's,
connect with in the 40K
okay.
universe as far as Space Marines. You go like, this is
If
the
you
one I'm
say so.
attached to. It can be
All right.
unreasonable, but that's what you need to do. And then you find
I don't
like
know.
you fall in love with Space Marines once you do that.
And then people get behind like all the lore and everything. I'm like, man, this model is the same exact model. It's just red. Okay.
No,
I
it's
can't.
not. They have a different
It
Primarch,
is.
and
It's
they're
a
and they're they're they're
100%
grown
red.
differently. They have different mindset and indoctrination. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
it's so different.
So give me a different ass model, please. Like
I well,
make them
it's
different, right?
yeah, and that kind of comes down to like I wish I'd do this with Stormcast too. Like make better and more robust upgrade packs.
Right.
Like that's what
That's
you
that's
need.
the
And
thing. Like
they do make it. Like I have some upgrade packs for Dark Angels still sitting just for whenever I do stuff like this. But
what is that? Like a shoulder pad or some shit, right?
shoulder pad, head, some iconography, different chest plates, little back banners. Like there's
All right.
they
All
could
right.
it's okay, but like it's hit or miss whether it's like if you're one of the basic Space Marines like Ultramarines, Imperial Fists, or like Salamanders, you're not changing much other than maybe like I like this weapon over this weapon. But like you need like
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Templar, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Dark Angels. They have a lot of differences. So
Right. And I get why they don't do it, right? I get that you like to stock a shelf, right? You just have Space Marines if you had all those different armies, right? I mean, like,
yeah,
I get it. Okay,
yeah,
I still don't have to like it, right? It's
that's
still
true.
it's
That's
still
true.
stupid to me. It's still just a red or a green Space
Hey,
Marine, and
they're the
so I'm out.
multi-billion-dollar company.
Right,
Fuck
so,
you. Fuck their feelings. I
yeah,
want to have it this way.
right, right. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's kind of how I feel about that. I like the Tyranids because they're different, right? And so anything that's different in 40K, I like. I like orcs. I like I like the Tyranids. I like even Gene Stealers and crap. They look different, right? It's not just a red Space Marine. So I'm just very anti samey Space Marines. That's
Oh,
in fact, if there was just one thing that was called Space Marines, and that's all they were, and there was no other, I'd be actually better with it because I'd be like, okay, that's one army. All right, I can
but
wrap my head around it.
there'd be no horse heresy. The story wouldn't be as rich and robust. What's fine. Well, over here in the based power armor enjoyer side of the podcast,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
don't like Tyranids at all. Those models look cool. Like that, they refresh looks good, and the Tyranid people are excited for it. But yeah, like me, I like Space Marines. I don't like them enough or have a need to buy this starter set. Like I'll buy the books and that stuff. There's only like, yeah, the Librarian Terminator armor is cool. I mean, the Captain Terminator armor, that's just a new version of the kit, so it'll be probably posable, multiple options. That's fine, but I don't need that.
Blue Space Marine.
Now, the Apothecary Biologus in the Gravis armor, like a really beefed up, tanky looking healer to me, always looks cool for some reason. So I'm all
Yeah.
for that model. And I've already talked to somebody who's buying the box that doesn't want
Mhm.
that model, so I'll be getting that one at least.
Nice,
But
nice.
yeah, but like then there's like that Phobos armor guy. I don't like the Phobos armor for Space Marines. That's the one type of armor that never appealed to me. Like they're like the scouts. They're more lightweight.
Mm.
Um, there's a veteran guard squad in there. I mean, we don't know what's going on with the new edition of 40K, but right now Dark Angels can't take Stern Guard veterans, so that's a useless kit for me. And I don't need more Terminators. I have 20, 25 or so I'm good at that. And
But they're probably little Terminators, right?
yeah,
Tiny ones.
it doesn't matter. It's all the same base. I
Fair.
I don't like the Flamer squad because I don't like running Flamers. I'm a Plasma boy. I do like the Dreadnought. I like the Dreadnought, but
Yeah,
yeah, no.
Dreadnought looks
It looks like a solid box set either way, though. Like I said,
yeah, yeah.
things you like, things you don't like. Yeah, solid box set. I also, I guess, I think if they said everything in this box is also push to fit, which is also, it's cool, but then looks very samey. Like
Oh,
a lot of my Dark Angels are from like the
I
seventh edition starter set.
hate that. I just
Yeah, a lot of my
I
Dark
hate
Angels are push to fit because that's what came in the starter set, but they were all themed to Dark Angels specifically. So
yeah.
yeah, so like if you have one
I
or
mean, I
two, it's
guess
fine. But like, and
and
yeah,
again, I understand why they do that as well. It's a starter set. You want it to be accessible,
yeah, like and no
whatever.
glue
But
needed. I get it, but
if you don't glue that shit, I don't know. I don't know. I I got problems with you.
I always
I
glue
don't
it
need to
too.
have problems with you because that shit falls apart. So glue it.
Just glue
Glue
it.
it.
Just glue it. Okay, no, all right. So yeah, I think no one's unhappy with that set. It's gonna be fun to see it out there. Um, yeah, and just wait for that to come out. So good to see all that stuff live and in person now on the stream.
Mhm.
So for Warhammer Underworlds, we had the Weird Hollow, the Headsman's Curse. It's Night Haunt, and let me tell you about Night Haunt, Neil. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I don't care either.
They all
I'm
look
glad
the
we're on the
same
same
to me.
page here.
I
Yeah, these are blue space marines again. Like I don't, I
they,
don't care.
like I Fire Slayers do look alike. All of them look
Mhm.
alike. And that's
Yes.
sure. The heroes look a little different here and there,
Hmm.
but I can tell them apart better than I can tell any Night Haunt. I don't even know the names for Night Haunt. Like to me,
It's
like some people
it's
look at
Scooby Doo.
yeah, who's it?
It's a
What's this?
guy with a
Night Haunt with a
sheep.
sword, Night Haunt with a flail. These ones
Yeah.
are Banshees. I know the Banshees because they look
Right.
different.
Right. Yep. They look cool.
Yeah. But
But the coach looks cool.
yeah,
Well,
the coach looks too Disney
yeah,
to me.
Nighthawk doesn't
Not
really do
not
it for me either.
I don't mean Disney in a bad way, but the black coach to me looks too cartoonish.
And it looks kind of out of place in the army. But
Yeah,
I digress.
yeah, that's fine. But anyway, but also I'm not a big Underworlds player. I mean, I have an
No.
Underworlds warband, but like I don't upgrade it. It's the Mogwais one. I buy all of the Daughters of Cain ones, but I have an extra one for Underworlds, but I never played anyway. So,
If
but
I can, if I can jump in real quick
yeah,
and just remove all the mystery, all the underworld stuff, all the Warcry stuff, I just didn't care for. I I don't need another guy running around thinking he's a dog. One was more than enough. I didn't need that one either. Hated that miniature. Hate this one. Get it out of here. No, thank you.
to me it's like I look at these as like that's like the Underworld's warbands is where the sculptors can really play with sculpts. Like they're like kind of let up the chains a little bit. Like the new Zinch one, which actually just went on pre-order, um, looks phenomenal for Zinch. It
Mm.
looks nothing like Zinch. It looks like Zinch, but it looks like Zinch turned up a little bit. Um, so I like that it's a place to play. But yeah, it's I buy them only for the armies that I have and only if I want it. You know what I mean? Like I don't buy them for
Yeah.
Underworlds. Warcry is a little different because most of those seem to have they're just part of the armies now to me, and Warcry is just a game you can also play.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's just harder to get the miniatures and everything. It's kind of irritating to me. But
Yeah. Well, anyway, moving on from that, Middle Earth strategy battle game. I was expecting a lot more from this reveal, if I'm honest with you. I thought they were going to do stuff from like the Amazon show, and I'm not upset with what they showed, but they only showed one thing.
wasn't that the Hobbit like?
You get off the road, they're underneath
Yeah, the get
a
off the road
tree.
thing. Yeah,
It's
it's not even playable in the game. Like that looks just like a.
so so the Wraith Knight is on a separate base that insets into the display, so
Uh,
he
okay.
can be played elsewhere. I mean, it's a great little
Yeah,
display
yeah. If
piece.
you
I
like a
do like it.
diorama, yeah. I mean, you like a diorama. That's great. You know.
Yeah, like I'm there's a small chance I do pick it up just to paint it for fun if I got nothing else going
Yeah.
on, and
Put it up on a shelf
it's
somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, and it's within like a decent price, but um,
Mhm.
I was hoping for more, but I'm not upset by it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so Warcry, Neil, do you like space? You don't like Space Marines, but do you like Stormcast?
Yeah. Yeah. Ish. Some
Okay.
of them.
Would you like a unit of all like Night Quester things with giant hammers and pole axes and stuff?
No, I took a look at these guys and I'm like, didn't do it. Didn't jump out at me.
I so here's where they jumped out. I like every single one of these Stormcast sculpts, but not enough to put them as a unit. Not enough to get
Yeah.
this box set. If they just put all these out as alternative sculpts for different heroes,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, cool. I can buy like this dual sword boy
They
for
got so
yeah.
many heroes already.
I
So many.
It is, and like I said, these models look great, but like I'm wondering when are they gonna like the old armor dies away and the new armor's the only thing left. Kind of like what they're doing with Space Marines. Like they'll eventually weed out the firstborn, not not by any other reason than just the new stuff sells and they stop making the old stuff that doesn't sell, and it's natural progression. And I think that'll happen with Stormcast, but like also I feel like they gave us a new armor much quicker than expected.
Right. I actually like the old, bigger. Like I like my Stormcast looking like the Hulk, man. I like them just lumbering around with a giant, two-handed hammer. Like give me that. I don't dislike the new armor or anything. It's actually more realistic and everything.
Yeah.
But
I,
I don't know. Like I think there's a place for those old models, and I just hate the fact that I think somebody I was watching. I can't remember if it was Coach or who was talking about this, but it would be nice like if they want to actually phase that kind of stuff out or because there's so much redundancy in the book and
yeah.
everything that like you just gave it a war scroll and be like liberators are also sequitors, like they're all the same,
Well,
it's the same war scroll,
I mean,
right? You can play whatever models you like, but
I could see that like because like with 10th edition, the Terminators, they're like, oh, they even said there could be a firstborn in here or a Primaris. It doesn't matter if you're a Terminator, you're a Terminator.
right.
You could do the same thing with Stormcast eventually, and I think they should within the next edition just to reduce the redundancy because that book is massive, and
Yeah, it's
I'm rarely
massive.
enticed to buy anything new for it.
Yeah, if you got an army like KO, okay, that can go 8-0, all right, and it's got what, not a whole lot of war scrolls.
Yeah,
Okay, not I mean not a quarter of the war scrolls Stormcast has, right?
yeah,
Then you could do a similar thing with. I'm not saying cut it down that far, but
no,
you have to either make that into two separate armies, right? This is all the city ones. I can't remember what they're called, and this is all the celestial ones that come down. Now you
uh,
got two different armies at least.
yeah. They can
You
kind
know,
of play together, or they can play separate with better rules. I guess
don't even
it's
make them play together. Just you take one or the other, right? Like don't make them
I,
play together.
I
Sometimes I think they try to mesh it so much that they make it so hard that Lulu's all over it, right? Like just
well, it's
separate it out.
you look at different comparisons. So like War Clans all being in the same book is fine because the rules are independent within inside of it. The new Seraphon book, same thing. Like there's the ones on the ground that are real and the ones that are like the Sky Demon ones. They're technically like very separate.
Yeah.
I mean they're using the same models, but I think they need to do something with Stormcast, like you said. But
Yeah.
I don't think
Something.
separating them that harshly. I think it's like kind of like what you said. Like just, these are both the same thing. At least
I've
problem is like
I've always had
the new armor basic guys have spears and 2-inch reach, and the old guys have hammers and 1-inch reach. So like that's gonna screw you up.
yeah. I mean, something's going to be better, right? Every time.
Yeah.
But I've made a stance on this for probably since it started. Like whenever they did the Grand Alliances and everything can play with everything and everything can ally with everything, and this one
Oh
can
yeah.
ally, and if you're Chaos, then you can bring in Chaos Warriors into Khorne and everything. I'm like, just stop it. Just make everything into one book, and you either want to play the Corn Army or you don't. And I get that it's all chaos, and we all want to play together. No, choose your army, man. Like you don't have to have this extra crap we're allying in, because every time you do that, it complicates it. Not complicates it from a rules aspect, but like
It's something that
things
does.
that you didn't intend to happen show up, right? And
Yeah,
some broken ass shit happens because of it as well. And it's just like, just focus on like one book, one set of things, make it good, leave
to,
all the other, no more allies, no more mercenaries, no more regiments of renown, unless
no,
they're going to be
no,
part
no,
of that
no.
army.
I,
Get
I,
it out of here.
I
I
think
hate it.
I like Regiments of Renown and I like the mercenary option. But outside of that, whenever I'm playing an army, I'm usually not using allies. I like just being within the book itself. So I
You know
get you
what?
with that. Now, with the exception is my Daughters of Cain, because I have so much and I've played so many games that I'll like paint up a specific and theme a specific ally for them, like my Blood Phoenix, just for fun. But
That's the key point. Like, just for fun. That's where all this stuff fits in narrative.
that's
You
true.
don't need it in match play.
I mean, yeah,
Get it the hell out of here. Just narrative. All the allies, all the regiments of renown. The problem is, if it's not match play, nobody's going to buy that shit for for the
I
regiments of
mean,
renown. Like, happen.
Yeah,
So,
I'm a big fan of Regiments Renown, but like, yeah, it's I, I,
live in
I
narrative,
get it.
man. I love it. I love narrative. You know I do. Like,
Yep,
I would do that.
that's where we
Narrative.
sit. That's
But
where we sit, Neil. That's
I
why we're
don't,
making a
I just
narrative.
don't need it in my match play games,
We're making a narrative
messing
about
stuff up.
yeah, we're going to NashCon and we have a narrative about who's the better KO player.
Right.
Like that's what we're doing. We're just
And if you think I'm allying one stupid ass other model from some other faction into my army, you are wrong.
if
I'm
you
not going to do
I'm Beric Thrang, and if you think I don't have the Regiment of Renown, Norgrim's Runethrong in there, you
that.
are wrong, sir.
Not at my match play tournament, even though I am doing a narrative thing with it.
My Nash here's a surprise for everybody. My NashCon list, because there's a 2 list format. Now, granted, points changes might screw up a little bit, but it's going to be KO with Gotrek or KO with that Rune Throng. That's it. My choice is
So,
either.
I mean, at least it's dwarves. All right, I'll give you a pass
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah. It's
But,
I'm either sitting in the back and shooting you and staying put, or I'm just running everything at you and we're gonna die real quick.
right.
Anyway, the other part of this Warcry kit is some Flesh Eater Court stuff, which I have to say, making sure it is Flesh Eater Courts, right? Yeah, yeah. It's ghouls and stuff. They're really cool.
Yeah, I
I
hope that that's indicative of where they're going to take the line at some point.
in the future, yeah,
So,
because it
yeah,
doesn't seem like it's getting a refresh now. They're getting a new hero in this.
yeah. Well, here's to hoping. We'll cross your fingers.
Yeah, but they look really cool. They look more humanoid. Also, if you're a Seraphon player, there's a new Realm Shaper engine in there in case you need one. Because
Oh, really?
it's the terrain piece. Because the whole story of this last Warcry season was diving into like these jungles of Gur because a
Hmm.
crashed Seraphon ship was there, and there was like potent magics. And I think this is like this is the last set for the season, so they're at the
Yeah,
core, and it's a Realm Shaper engine is like the big thing.
yeah.
So the Stormcast are trying to stop it, and the ghouls are just eating people. I guess I don't know.
Doing what they do.
But it's legitimately just like a really like jungled up Realm Shaper engine. But if you brought that to a match play tournament, like I don't see any TO going. Yeah, you can't use that. It looks to be exactly the same, just a little bit more jungled up.
Right. I think it's fine. I mean, if you're going to play proxies of any sort, like even just like, this is X, or you converted whatever, that's the same thing as a converted terrain piece. Just allow
Yeah.
it. Let it go.
So Neil, I'm real curious about your opinion on this next one.
Oh, yes. I hope we're talking about what I hope we're talking
Free
about.
Guild Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Yep. What is your opinion on them? I for one think they're absolutely incredible models. I love how they look. I love that it looks like we're clearly getting like transfer sheets in this stuff now
Oh, yeah.
because there's a lot of flat panels and like clearly that stuff wasn't like all hand
Yeah.
painted. But
Yeah. Please don't ask me to paint like any of that shit. Like, especially like, oh, we'll get to that later.
yeah,
But yes,
but what's your general
transfers,
thoughts on
please
this?
transfers. Yes.
Yeah, transfers, yes, we all like transfers.
Yes. What's my opinion on it? I love them. I love
Ooh,
them. I
okay,
don't know
good.
what the hell is going on with the snail with the legs.
Yeah, that was a weird
Uh,
thing, but
Snail unicorn with legs. I don't know what that's about. Probably cut that bad boy right off my base. That's out of here. It's too weird for me, especially when you got a horse walking over top of it.
It's
It's just like
very
I mean, I love Age of Sigmar and I love how high fantasy it is and everything, but you're losing at me at snail with legs. Okay,
see.
I'm out.
It's only odd because it's on the human models. If that was on like an Ideneth base or like a Wood Elf base,
A Zinch,
yeah, like
something.
something
Yeah,
like that's a little bit more like magical and weird. But like just humans on horses to see that was a little like, that's different.
yeah. That's not. I don't know why that's there. Yeah, it's out of place for
Yeah,
sure. I get. I mean, I get it's supposed to be just some kind of cute thing they put down there. Having some fun, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't bother me that much.
No, it's just
Whatever.
it's one of those things. I'm like, that's neat. I won't use that.
I've,
Oh, for
I've
this
heard some
army, I'll
people
use it for a different army.
yeah, saying that the models are too busy, they're too detailed, they're overly detailed. I don't agree with that. I think they look amazing.
No.
I think I would use them for Old World for sure. And I
Yeah,
actually seeing those and the things that they had released, the foot soldiers prior to
the foot
the
soldiers
preview for
weren't
those.
my favorite, but these are.
The foot soldiers, I think, match the same theme though,
Yes.
regardless of what you think of the face on that one. but
Yeah, and it's weird
but
'cause
they at least match the theme, and I like the theme that they're doing. Like I can see that as Age of Sigmar. I think it's interesting. I like how the aesthetic they're going with.
yeah.
Bring it on. And I have sat here in the past. If you've been a fan of the show and been listening, I hate Cities of Sigmar. I hate it. It's a fake
Yeah.
army. It's shit. Now it's starting to look like it's
That's a real. It's standing on
actually
its
a real thing.
own two
So,
snail legs.
that's on Tuesday. Sorry.
Yeah, it's what's fascinating is like this is such a nice mix of Bretonians and Empire models from the old world because like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot mixed together, and I like that concept because yet those were the humans that I mean there was the other humans, but we didn't see them in the end times because they didn't really write rules about them like Nippon and Cathay and Arabe. So, but seeing like this blend
right.
happening is really cool. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a huge fan too. I'm not sure because like my Cities of Sigmar army is mixed between all three races, and it's based
Mhm.
upon Anvilgard because it's about the fall of Anvilgard, and Anvilgard's gone, so I don't
Right.
know if it's gonna make it or what's gonna happen. So I need to figure out what I want to redo with that army. So we'll see. But I'm gonna probably pick up some of these horses because they're cool as hell.
Send it to the old world, baby. Send it to the old world.
I mean, yeah, most well, it's possible. A lot of stuff in there's Dark Elves, and Dark Elves I think will be my old world army to start. So we'll see.
Right?
Anyway, next up, I know you and I are both gonna be excited for this. Dawnbringers. So our narrative
Mm.
supplement, um,
Yeah.
the four new characters. They're also in a regiment box for each of the Grand Alliances, but like that's fine. That's neither here nor there. We'll talk about them separately. But what do you think about? We're getting 4 books. It's coming out this summer to start, which seems early, but that's fine. I'd rather this be early and take its time and give me time to play with the lore and the narrative. But um, yeah, it's gonna be focused on two Dawn Seeker Crusades. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Dawn. Yeah,
Yeah,
both
yeah,
coming
yeah, yeah. One's gonna fail, one's gonna succeed.
right, which is like okay, sure, that's fine. That's not really spoiling too much because otherwise I just expect both to fail. In all honesty, because it's Warhammer.
Yeah.
But like
It's a
it's
bunch of idiots.
both setting out from Hammerhall, one from Akshi and one from Ghyran, since it's twin cities. Which
Oh, yeah.
what's got me most excited for this personally, Neil, is Terathi. Terathi's lore is was in Ghyran and it moved to Akshi before the fall of Anvilgard.
Uh-huh.
I can't wait to write more lore and play into what's going on here. And also with my city, because my city's Anvilgard, they're gonna be roaming around Akshi, maybe heading towards Ghyran, so I could play with that too. Like I'm excited to get back to some army lore writing and my own personal narrative development within the setting that's gonna happen here. Plus, also, I want to say this before I let you go off on your love of it. I am glad that we're not in a world-ending situation. The Mortal Realms aren't hanging in the balance. Nothing like
Yeah.
both these could fail. Who cares? It's just like it's just gonna be a cool story, update to the setting, but we're not worried about some life-changing energy thing happening to destroy the universe, which I'm happy for. I
Yeah.
don't need it to be that big all the time.
Yeah. That's the key all the time. I think, in fact, most of the time it should be exactly this. I think for those people who poo-poo Age of Sigmar in terms of their setting and everything, because of the setting is why we can do this.
Yep.
I know that there's some room to play with that in the old world, and I hope that they do. But Age of Sigmar is wide open that way, and that's what makes this possible. So I'm huge into it as well. I think we both need to right now go ahead and make our predictions for which one succeeds and which one fails. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go big on this one. I'm gonna say Actually succeeds.
Ooh, I love it.
And I'm gonna say that Gyran fails. I'm gonna say that Gyran fails specifically because Alariel doesn't want it to happen, and she's the one that stops it.
Wow.
And this
I'm
is
going
I know
back.
nothing. I know absolutely nothing about any of this. So I'm
Yep.
thrilled. This is literally the first. I think this is the first thing that's coming out. Like when I stopped playtesting, this is the first thing that I did not playtest in at all.
Nice.
Because and like I playtested Broken Realms because there's some match play
Uh-huh.
stuff in there, and like as you read through, you kind of get an idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't touch these at all. So I'm excited. This is like my first non-playtest experience in a while. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think actually is going to succeed because there's going to be doubled effort because it's going to be like the survivors of Anvil Guard going back out to start like fuck you, we're starting a new city, and they'll be like really gung ho, and Gyran's going to fail because Alariel says fuck you.
I'm going the opposite direction. I think actually is doomed because Korgus Cole. So not going to happen. He's
Well,
going to get in there, and my
so
corn boys are going to
so
make sure that they
before
make a pile of skulls out of those idiots.
before you say hard on that, I know you don't pick up the White Dwarfs. Right now, Korgus Call is in Gur.
Oh, that's right. I do remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah. Corn
He
sent him
did
to
get
Gur
kind
for
of
some
sent
reason,
out there.
and he hates it.
Yeah,
He hates
no,
being there,
he's
but
kind of a little pissed at him. Yeah,
yeah.
from what I understand. So, yeah. Well, I think he's coming back. Korgus Cole make his way back to the realm of fire, mess those boys up, make a pile of skulls out of those idiot humans, and yeah, actually's not gonna win. No.
Okay.
Although Gotrek is an Actually. Or no, he's in Shimon. He's in
He's in
Shimon.
Shimon
Never
right
mind.
now. Yeah,
He's in Shimon. Okay, we're good.
yeah.
If Gotrek was an Actually, I might change my opinion. I'm still going with it.
Okay.
So we'll say Actually
All right.
fails, Gyran succeeds because opposite, Alariel intervenes and assists.
We should do
Because if you remember the lore too, like Papa Nurgle is already kind of corrupting those ley lines, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. No, that's
So
true.
he actually messed up some of those already in Gyran, and has just like turned a portion of Gyran into the garden
There's
because
yeah.
of the ley lines.
There's a little bit there like that. Yeah, yeah.
So maybe they're going back to try and stop that.
Okay.
Let's say it worked.
So
Right?
I'm team Actually, your team Gyran success.
Correct.
Okay. All right. We should figure out a little wager for that. Maybe like we paint a hero for each other, whoever wins. Oh, we
Absolutely.
we paint a hero, foot hero, like little infantryman hero. Can be kit bashed, can be bought, whatever it is. We paint it to match one of our armies, but it has to also be in the theme. Like if I win and Actually wins, you have to paint it to be like a someone from Actually. If you win, I have to paint a model of your choosing, like Gyran, for one of your armies.
All right. I can do that. I'd even be willing. Actually, no, I haven't. I've already painted. No, yeah, it won't work for that kind of wager. So, okay, we're good with that. I'm good with
Okay,
that.
all right, perfect. So
Okay.
we also got to see the 4 new champions, these harbingers per se. The new what's it? What's the Magakin's name? Harbinger of Decay. Oh, yeah, Harbinger's in the
Yeah.
name. Great glow up
Yep.
on that model, I have to say.
Oh yeah. Much better.
Yeah,
that model was eons old. Eons.
I foresee you picking that boy up.
It may not be immediately because I don't think his rules are very useful to me, but eventually
Well,
probably.
I imagine he'll get new rules in the book. New
Yeah,
model, new
yeah.
rules. It seems to make sense.
Yeah.
But next up, we got that Sir Geron. It's like the Herald of like Flesh Eater Courts. He's a
Yeah.
cool model. Like he's probably the most interesting Flesh Eater Courts model I've seen. But
Right. That's not just a guy with claws. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. um, then we got the Fire Slayer with hammers and little ankle warmers.
Right. Jumping off a rock, so we can tell that he's different than the rest.
Yep. I'm curious to see what he'll be like. But yeah, no, that's that's I actually kind of like it with the hammers. I'll add him to my
Mm,
force whenever he comes out separately because I don't need any more fire slayers.
yeah.
Um, and then we had the best name bracket Big Taka, the Rabble Rouser.
The
This
Rabble Rouser.
I have no idea what this guy's gonna do because he's like very squig themed, but there's always squig heroes for gits. But he's a cool model. Uh,
He's the one I probably looked at least, honestly.
okay. Well, which one's your favorite out of these four?
um, who's the guy in the pig?
No, no,
Isn't
no,
there
no.
one?
That's separate. We'll get there next. That's a separate reveal.
Oh,
Which out of these four, the Harbinger, the Fire Slayer, the Flesh Eater Quartz, or the Git?
it's a Nurgle guy for sure.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and then we had a quick little roadmap. So summer, Seraphon comes out in folks. We had the first limited release of the book out. Get the first Harbinger book, and then General's Handbook, and then autumn's going to be a Cities of Sigmar. Then book 2 and 3 of this supplement, which is pretty quick. Then winter's going to be book 4 and the last army book. They labeled it as a mystery, but it's got to be Flesh Eater Quartz because that's the last one left.
There we go.
Unless it's, yeah.
Or it's Malarian's Dark Elves. No, it's
Hey,
not.
I don't care if elves come out fresh. I'll buy that army right now.
Not a chance of that happening.
No.
I can't believe it's been 7 years and we haven't seen that army. I can't believe it's been 7 years and we haven't seen Tyrion's army. These things are astounding to me, but whatever.
I have a feeling. I mean, that's the type of thing. Like, especially with those two. Like, if they decide to wait for the next edition, granted, you're not gonna. Well, you could. Like, you release both those as like the starter box. Oh, that'd be so tasty. But it's gonna be Stormcast versus somebody.
Well, that would sell so many models.
Oh yeah,
Holy
I'd buy
crap.
2 of those probably. All right. Anyway, the thing you want to talk about, and I want to talk about too. This
Yes.
new this Gore Grunta, this giant pig model
Hmm.
for iron. Like, oh my gosh, this I didn't realize that this was missing from the line.
Yeah.
But as soon as
Oh
I
yeah.
saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly what this army needed for Iron
Right.
Trust.
And then I just don't like. I love the pig. All right, the piggy feet, the big tusks, whole 9 yards. This guy looks awesome, that pig. But I don't understand what's going on with that iron jaw on top because he's a little weedy. He looks like he skipped all the days, not just leg day, but also arm day. He is tiny by Iron Jaws standards, and I really hope that this is not a new direction they're going with Iron Jaws, kind of like Stormcast to like thin him out.
I have a feeling it's the angle of this model because we only saw the one picture angle. I have a feeling if you look at him like dead on, he's gonna be like, "Why is a brick shit house?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, all right. I hope that's
Yeah.
right.
The
Right
only
now, you're kind of like, I'm like, he doesn't look that, and the size of him compared to the pig, right?
yeah,
It's just like,
I think to me, like honestly, I think he doesn't look small to me. Like he looks like he's the same portion as the guy on top of the Maw Crusher. But it could be an angle thing. The only thing on this model that throws me off is the guys on the side. I like the guys on the side. It's very like Mad Max, which I feel like orcs would do that. But
yeah.
they're just standing there so casually. Like this thing's running across and it's got so much motion. There's just 2 little orcs on the side just holding sticks, feet on the ground,
Right.
like, okay, where we gonna swing, boss? It's like I wish they had a
Yeah.
little more motion.
Fair.
That's but yeah, I I have
Good model, though.
I have 1,000 points of Iron Jaws, and it might be fun to see what he does to add him to the army to
Good.
kind of.
Out 1250, buddy.
It's my Path of Glory army, so like yeah, points don't really concern me too much. So
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely stellar model, stellar model.
Yep.
All right, well, okay. There's Horus Heresy stuff. I think there's a Plastic Knight that used to be a Forge World Knight. Look, some
More Space Marine.
characters, yeah, more characters for Sons of Horus and Imperial Fist, which is all we keep getting. Um,
Hmm.
some 3D renders of some new Assault Marines, that's cool. And then what appears to be, based upon speculation of folks, Warhammer Horus Heresy, it looks to be Epic, Return of Epic, which is, the small... Have you ever played Epic, Neil? Do you know what it is?
No.
Do you know what War Master is for fantasy?
Yes. Yes.
It's just that for 40K.
Yeah. Oof. Never liked that for fantasy either. It's like, oof.
It's a very... Yeah, I never... The most I think I've ever done with War Masters, I've used the High Elf War Master bits I found randomly as little
Yeah.
mini statues of my Lumineth army. So that's where they come in cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what it is. It probably one of those games where I don't jump in on because it's not my thing. But like people are
Yeah.
excited for it and it's cool. Yeah, neat.
Yeah.
But now Warhammer: The Old World.
Now we're getting to the meat and
Yeah,
potatoes.
actually, real quick before we get to there, there's some kill team narrative stuff. It's cool. It's purely narrative because the season's over. It looks cool if you like kill team. We kind of play kill team at the barn, so we'll check that out. But I'm excited more about Old World, so that's what we're going to finish talking about today.
Hmm.
So we saw our first, and this there's okay. Going into this, there is two things I wanted. I wanted to see a single, fully painted model that was new, and we got that twofold. And I wanted to get a well, no, there's three things. And I wanted to get a release date, not release date, but a release time window. And I also wanted to get a basing guide, so we could start basing before the game came out.
Hmm.
About like 1.75 of those things came true. We still don't know when this game's coming out. Rumors are saying sometime this year, early next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm patient. I don't really care. It would be nice to know, but since I don't know, not a big deal.
I'm not. I was excited for this because it's Warhammer Fest. It's your own event. I thought if there was any time to really give the people what they wanted, like this was the time to do it, right? And
Yeah.
so I was hoping for and really, let's say I was expecting more, and the reveal kind of felt like a wet fart to me. Because I wanted a roadmap. I wanted to find out exactly how these like the army books were going to like what are we doing here? Like how are these old 8th edition armies? How are we all
They
going to play this game when it comes out?
they did
Right?
give
Like
us
that's what I wanted to know.
there's a lot of we have to read between the lines with what was shown, but like you can't. It's not like and there's also stuff from the Q&A that like I'm not sure. Did you watch anything from the Q&A coverage? Which the Q&A wasn't recorded, but people who were at the
No.
Q&A, like Great Book of Grudges, were there, took
Yeah.
notes and did a video on it. So there's a lot more in this reveal
Yeah.
than the surface level, which is the good thing.
Okay.
First and
Yeah.
foremost, that new Tomb King and that new Bretonian Paladin, amazing. I think
I've
they're
not
both
actually seen the Tomb King yet. I don't know how I missed it, but I was looking at the Bretonian like crazy. But
yeah. I mean, just the Bretonian on foot is great. The Tomb King, he's phenomenal. Like he's yeah. Now that I have Tomb King's army, like yes, I will buy him. Because I don't have a Tomb
yeah.
King on foot.
Mhm.
But it is kind of confirmed
There
that
you go.
the starting focus of the release of this will be Tomb Kings versus Bretonians. Um,
Hmm.
there's not going there's going to be a fair to say like there's going to be a box that comes out to start us off, but it's not a starter. Like they're not saying this is going to be the most ease of entry type of situation like Leviathan. They want people picking it up, having a
Hmm.
good time. It's push to fit,
Hmm.
very easy. This won't be as much so from what I could gather. But it's
I
also
don't know why.
yeah, I'm
I
looking
guess it's resources. I mean, I guess I don't want to say I don't know why, but
yeah,
I
like it's resources,
there's
but
seems like there's
there's a there's a
with
lot of returning players like me and you and a ton of other people, so we're used to all that sort of stuff. But there's also going to be a lot of people
but
who are
there's
Total
also a
War,
ton.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
and they're going to want to come in and try it. However, I think here's where that silver lining is coming in because I got my rose-colored glasses on almost all the time now again. So this is a good time for community to heal because like there people left, they didn't like Sigmar, 8th, 9th edition, all that sort of crap. Now it's come back. It's like okay, well it's all Warhammer, we all love it. Plus also this combined group of people who are returning, or maybe like me and you who just kind of never left 8th edition in our own weird way, and people have just been hyped for this. You're gonna have the Total War people coming in, and it's gonna be up to the community to help these people get over that first hurdle, which is it's not gonna be the easiest barrier of entry. As far as like, okay, well, they did
Hmm.
say they're gonna focus and they're gonna do like army battalion boxes again. They said that in the Q&A. So like
Okay.
you'll be able to get like a starter army, but it's not going to be like a starter set. Like you're not going to have two armies
Like,
that can easily put together and play against each other. It's going to be like, okay, well, here's the army you want. Here's the book. Yeah, that sort of stuff. So it's not going to be like burdensome, but like it won't be as easy as Sigmar or 40K is to get into as far as like that first hurdle.
yeah.
But they also said too that the focus to start, and this is like I said, it's because of resources, is going to be the old world. So you get the chaos, you have the dwarves, you have Bretonia, like pretty much just the usual fare. There is
Mm-hmm.
wood elves there. They're near the Bretonians. They showed a icon. They showed a map. Actually,
Yeah.
I have it. Let
I'm
me see if I
feeling that.
can't.
Yeah.
Whoop, doing this live here, so sorry for everyone that's going to see the stuff just randomly pop up here. Um, is this it? There it is. There's the map. I'm bringing it up live, everybody. So it's over our faces. So you see the Empire, you see the Chaos, you see Wood Elf symbol, you see High Elf symbol because they're naval faring, so they're kind of always around. Um, so this is going to be the focus to start for uh, the old world, as far as story goes, as far as things like that. Now the good thing, open this live here. Let's see. I'm going through the slides that they released on the stream, so that's why I'm kind of talking right now, Neil. So I apologize, but there's going to be new
You're
models
good.
for many factions, both plastic and resin, and it's going to be Forge World resin. It's not going to be fine cast. Um, there'll be returning models for many factions, which is great because I always kind of wanted to pick up another. Was it Lothran Sea Cutter? So I hope they put that back out.
Ooh.
And now, while the focus on the old world is not every army in the old world, they did say every 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy army will be playable, with ongoing focus on featured of the old world armies. So, I want to
Mhm.
play Dark Elves to start. I want to, like I was a High Elf player, but I'm going to go all in on the Dark Elves because, my eyes have been opened after Malekith walked through the flame, and my love of Marathi is undying. So, Dark Elves won't be a focus, but they're going to have rules. They're going to be in the world. So I can play it and it'll be
Mhm.
fun. Now, I might not get a new Dark Elf model for years because they're going to
Mhm.
focus on the old world, and as things are successful with the game, then they
Yeah.
start exploring the different sections. Kind of like Total War, like it switched around, moved
Yeah.
around. So,
Yeah. My friend John spoke on this, and I think it's a good point. Is I hope what that means is that they're playable and not just like going to get curb stomped by the 8th edition armies. If you played an Age of Sigmar 1, a high elf army against Stormcast in the wild west of Age of Sigmar,
was rough.
good luck.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
Unless
luck
unless it was
to
all
you.
Phoenix Guard, you had no shot.
And even then, I mean, poof. I tried that. I took it to an event once, like with the very first event I suppose I ever went to, and wow,
What
I got run
That's
real
why
hard.
most of us, after we did that for a bit, like I started a Stormcast army, you did Corn,
Mm,
because it's like,
mm.
well, I want to play my game.
Right. I very quickly realized that those things need to go to the shelf. But
I, yeah. Now the thing is, it seems like they're going to release all the rules at once, which is always a good indication that they're balanced off each other. But
hmm
yeah, as army books come out, how's that going to function? Will we get upgrades regularly? We'll see.
hmm
We'll see. And like I said, and if for some reason Dark Elves keep getting left in the dust, then it's just going to be like the classic days until they get a super boost, and then they're the best one. We're back to old fantasy in its purest form of one army's on
It's
top for
transformers an
years.
army book every 10 years. Yeah, yeah, that'll really actually. Uh, I'd love for some of the new players to experience that.
Oh God.
I'd hate it, and simultaneously like, you see.
See, you need that middle ground because right now Sigmar is too fast, but that old fantasy was too slow. Like the middle
Oh
ground, like
man,
around the Age of Sigmar
Sigmar's too
1.5 and
fast.
2.0 was the best.
Give me 4 years, man. Don't give me three. It's too
It
much.
is.
It's
It
too
is.
much.
It is. It is. But yeah, no, it's. I'm excited. Let's we'll wrap up the show. What are you thinking for your plans of the old world? So we don't know what's coming out. Obviously, I don't even want to put a guess on it because I don't know. it'll hopefully it's out by this time next year. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Um,
My plans are I'm currently 3D printing an army,
okay,
and I know it's not going to be one of the first ones. So I will play with my whatever the rules are for high elves,
okay,
and I'm very excited to do so with whatever army I have as new things come out. Hopefully, as characters come out, if they're cool looking, and I imagine that they are going to be, so I'll probably get whatever comes out for that army and go from there. I could see myself getting an orcs and goblins army
okay,
based on if like they came out with the rules for that quick, which I imagine they would,
yeah,
because they are like one of the players, one of the
they're
start
around.
to finish.
They're always
There, you know,
around. Yeah,
they're in every story in the old world, and I love them. I never had the army just because of how many models
yeah,
they
but at
had,
this
to
at at this
paint
point
on.
though,
But now that I can actually do
yeah,
that,
me and you, that's not a problem.
it's not.
Painting horde armies aren't an issue
Yeah,
for us. So
right.
no, I mean that's good. All
That's
right,
pretty
now,
much it. Yeah.
so you're not looking at Bretonians or Tomb Kings. You're going to stick with your high elves.
No, no, I've never actually been, and I think it's hilarious that they're starting out with those two because they were the two. I don't know if they were the least popular armies or not, but you didn't see a lot of them.
They were the
Mainly, you didn't see Bretonians because they were
they were the least
such a high
supported.
level entry painting. They weren't supported, and to paint them was so intimidating because there were no transfers or anything. All that crap was like hand painted and everything. That
Yeah.
was oof.
Well, even
Yeah,
the Tomb Kings. Granted, mine was painted for me because I won that forest bet. But listening to them being painted, apparently it's much harder to paint Tomb Kings than
yeah.
expected.
If you want to do it well, sure.
Yeah,
That's anything, but yeah,
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm fine with that being the start. The idea of a Tomb King's army is interesting to me, but
hmm
I know we're gonna see a lot of it out there. You know, my good buddy Mark, he loves that army, so I'll get to play against it. I can always borrow his. But yeah, I it's like I think I'm gonna focus on Teyrathi as usual. Do my little dark elf army. I still have the other thing too is I still have 150 witch elves in my Daughters of Cain army, and that's after moving a bunch of them to my back to my dark elf army for 8th edition and giving some away to friend Quentin who's also doing a dark elf army. So I could
hmm
take 50 of those away and still not be hurting in my Daughters of Cain army for witch elves for the size of that
yeah.
game. So I'll take those down, figure out what I want to do with Teyrathi, kind of
You
go from there.
you are with elves is where I am with gun haulers. I,
Yeah,
I don't need them.
but you got them.
I mean, technically, I could play them, but there is no reason to probably for the next 4 years. So
Right.
I have way too many gun haulers.
Yeah, it was like it's my early years of Sigmar painting hundreds and hundreds of witch elves has finally paid off in full because I just have ready-made armies for everything.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
good. But yeah, no, I mean that's good. And the other thing is too is I don't know what the rules are going to be like in fully. But what I really want to do is one, this is also an excuse to see you, Dave, get Matt, Cole, get the Strength Hammer crew together.
Mhm.
I want to do a map campaign for Old World because I have one of the old hex maps, the Mighty Empires.
Oh my God! Talk
But
to me.
yeah, so what I want it to be is we'd split it between Pittsburgh and Ohio once every three
Mhm.
months. And maybe we can roll the Teyrathi invitation onto this somehow. We'll see. Maybe it'd be separate. But it's just like drive out for a day. We play a bunch of games.
Mhm.
Maybe like we crash at that person's house, wake up the next day for breakfast, people, and then everyone goes home. Not a weekend
Yeah,
thing, not taking up like too much of time. Just like, hey, this Saturday, this is what we're doing. Cool.
yeah.
But that's what I really
You
want to
know
do to
what you
start
need to
this
do?
off.
You need to take that giant ass table at the barn, and you need to do like an entire table of the hexes, and that's the map. That's the map campaign,
Well,
right?
you're the one with the
You got to
3D printer,
3D out those
so
hexes, baby.
you start printing. We get everybody involved then. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean that's the other thing
Just
too.
saying.
Like, if listen, if you Ohio boys want to drive out to the barn every 3 months, Mark, I'm sure would be fine to host it because he'd probably want to play in it too.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a good deal.
We'll
Every
figure.
3 months, I think I'll probably make that work.
Yeah, just like I said, just for a day. You drive out early on a
Yeah.
Saturday and maybe crash or
Hmm.
maybe drive home that night if like it's just a chill night and you don't mind getting home kind of late. Like that's the best part. We're only
Sure.
about 3 hours away from each other. It's far, but
It's
it's not too
doable.
far. Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
But yeah, that's my hope for Old World. I want to start my Dark Elf army for it. I want it to be a new army, not just porting over an old army. So fresh ground
Hmm.
up, and then do a map campaign with everybody.
Yeah. My hope for Old World is that we don't just see the classic units, and I mean it would behoove them to not just do the classic units, like new units. Like if I have a high elf army, like an actual unit of dragon riders
Oh yeah,
would
yeah,
be sweet.
yeah. I
Do
mean,
it.
yeah, do new units here and there.
Mhm.
Redo some like lords and heroes differently. Like I said, you print me a new tech list right now,
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I don't care. I have 3 versions of him already.
Yeah.
I'll buy another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 100%. And I would do that as well. Tyrion, give it to me.
Yep.
Oh God, could you imagine what they could do with a Tyrion model right now? Like
See,
I'm talking classic Malahander or whatever with him on top.
yep.
Like the old one was really good, but they could just blow that out of the water now.
Here's what I'm hoping. This is a weird thing because it's like it's so not connected, but I wish Forge World would if this takes off and goes well, I wish Forge World would look at the end times and go,
Hmm.
let's make Tyrion the incarnate of light model. Let's make
Hmm.
Malekith the incarnate of shadow. Like do
Hmm.
that. Like
Yeah.
make the heroes in like their peak form before they turned into gods over in the mortal realms. But there's like
Hmm.
I want to see those models, and I like a Primarch
Yeah.
series. I want them to be cool.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
but regardless, yeah, no. So Warhammer Fest reveal is pretty cool. Neil, I'm glad to get your thoughts on it. I'm glad we
Hmm.
both also don't. I'm glad neither one of us cares about Underworlds. I'm glad both of us love the horses and Cities of Sigmar,
Yep.
and we're both excited for some narrative in Old World.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
any
Well,
any
one thing we can disagree on is, I hate allies and they should go away. So I'm just going to reiterate that at the end of the show.
long live allies. Anyway, everybody, happy hobbying out there. We'll see you next week and stay Stormcast strong.